Hi, my name is Evan. I'm a junior at Penn State University and a second class midshipman in Penn State's Naval Reserve Officer Training Corps program. It is my dream to become a naval aviator and fly planes for the U.S. Navy. To achieve this, I would have to be selected by the Navy to attend the Navy Flight School in Pensacola, Florida. Today, let me show you how I prepare to become a student naval aviator. Of course, the Navy can't select everyone that applies, so there is a very extensive selection process that more or less spans your entire time in ROTC. One of the most important things they look for during the selection process is your GPA. The higher your GPA, the more likely you are to be selected for whatever service community you apply for. So I spend a lot of time studying, especially for classes like physics and calculus. But everyone knows your desk is the worst place to study. To get away from all the distractions, I decided to move over to the Wagner Building, Penn State's ROTC building that's on the east side of the University Park campus. One of the great parts of being in the NRTC program is the access to future student naval aviators and current flight students that are Penn State alum. In our aviation club, we try to schedule regular meetings with past PSU midshipmen so they can share their experience and help us prepare for the future.
And that's what I recommend. A lot of people aren't doing like a lot of pre-class preparation and they're studying a lot. With doing this every day, for aero and then anything down here, I really haven't had to study too much outside of class. So I'd certainly recommend that. It's a good practice, even for like class back at school, if your professors assign or give materials before class. I know not everybody does, but I would try to emphasize pre-class preparation. They also do something known as a gouge sheet. So when you're 5 minutes before every exam, they'll give you a piece of paper and you can just write whatever you want on it. There's a lot of strategy behind it. A lot of people will practice it. If you know the material, like it's probably not as required or necessary to succeed, but certainly a good idea to get up things that are a bit fuzzy. As far as like things, we call it gouge. As far as gouge goes, there's
Another key part of the selection process is the Aviation Selection Test Battery, or ASTB for short. This is a non-standardized adaptive test that every prospective student naval aviator has to take to be considered for the selection board. This test comprises of three overall sections: an academic portion involving math, reading comprehension, mechanical comprehension, and basic Navy knowledge. Ironically, all the math knowledge required is fairly elementary, which is what makes it so difficult when you think about it from the perspective of a college student who's basically relied on a calculator for the last 4-ish years of their life, doing long division and the complex multiplication on paper isn't as natural as it used to be. Then there's a pilot aptitude and a flight officer aptitude assessment. This includes a performance-based stick and throttle test, a dichotic listening test, a UAV test, and a terrain identification portion, all of which you have to extensively study and practice for. The stick and throttle portion in particular is very difficult because it requires a lot of hand-eye coordination on a system that is not exactly intuitive, along as it being combined with the dichotic listening portion. So essentially, you're doing three things at once: controlling a stick with your left hand, controlling the throttle with your right, and all while listening for sounds coming from both sides of the headset. Lastly, there is also a major physical aspect to being a pilot. Therefore, to prepare for this, I like to run, swim, and go to the gym. Well, that's all I have for now. Thank you for coming along with me and have a great Navy day.